Yo, what's going on, peoples? Here we go again. What's going on, Ace, man? We back. It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been like, right? Global Unlimited Podcast. We back up here with some special podcast. Actually, we're doing a double podcast today.
Yeah, this is something different.
Something different.
So we got Global Podcast. I'm on stage Open Arts Pack podcast, and we're doing a duet in conjunction with my friend Justice. So
yeah, so we're about to do something different today. We got some special guests up here. Let's start with the man of the hour, of course, Mr. James Graham.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
The mic's right there, bro. Look at me. Look at the mics.
Talk to the mics.
Talking to you. Talking to the mics.
How y'all doing?
DJ, the sound man, Mr. Skip.
How you doing, people?
And also we got a poet, Mr. Malik, right?
Yes, how y'all doing, peace?
So we up here talking about the event that we got going on next week at the March 9th. I'm about to say 16th. That's my show, y'all.
no, wait, let's talk about
show.
right. We're doing the
16th is the comedy show. March 9th is Trent Divine Poetry
Night Out.
Night Out.
Right.
And actually, the thing about this show is different because y'all changed locations.
Yeah, this is the first one we got going on at Open Art Pack, and we're trying to build a relationship here.
Yes.
It's a good thing. A beautiful place, beautiful facility, and we're gonna be here for a while.
Right. And speaking on behalf of Open Arts Pack, just to let you know, and I did let you know this before, that we were actually waiting for you to come. We were searching for you. I know you were doing your thing in the city of Trenton. And the good thing is, and the exciting thing is, I'm also born. I'm from Trenton. I'm telling you, I'm born and raised from the city of Trenton as well.
All right, sure.
And yeah, so I know the facility that you come from, the Conservatory Mansion, and we give much respect to them. I actually started out with them as well with some poetry events. I love Jackie and her husband and Tyrone Haskins. So it's a pleasure to finally have you here in this house.
We're happy to be here. We moving on to bigger, better things. It was a great facility. The conservatory is a great facility. It's just at this time we need more space, so we just expanding our zone. You know what I mean? We're just expanding ourselves.
Right.
So how long was y'all at the Contemporary? How long,
the Conservatory Mansion.
I'm sorry, Conservatory Mansion.
Yeah, we were at the Conservatory for 3.5 years. We did yeah.
So y'all doing events inside and outside, right?
We did events inside, outside. We did the Poetry Fest for Generations Fest outside, and everything else was inside. We expanded it to outside for the Generation Fest, but everything else was on the inside.
Okay. So let me ask you something. How did you actually get started? How long had Trenton Divine Poetry been in effect?
Well, Trenton Divine Poetry came in effect as a vision that me and my brother had, and James Evans. I started off with my brother, Robert Ruff, as we were doing weddings and church pastors' anniversaries. And we were just going around doing different events. And all of a sudden, it was like, certain things you could say at certain events because of their venue. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, won't we do, me and James Evans, who is the sponsor of AEI Products, he said, won't we do venues of our own so we can say what we want to say, do what we need to do, so we can see people with different ideals about what poetry is. You know what I'm saying? So we began to expand that vision. And we just started to put Trenton Divine Poetry together in about, I think it was 2015.
Your poetry a little bit too extreme for people, or?
No, it's just like certain venues. You got certain religious venues. You know what I mean? So then you got certain. I guess you could say people want to hear certain
demographics,
things, and in the demographics of things, people want to hear certain things. We want to Trenton Divine Poetry is like where you can say it all, and and feel good about saying it.
Express what you want. Yeah, it's not censored. In other words. Okay. All right.
If I could need y'all gentlemen to speak a little bit louder, because also the other, podcast is from the phone. So
okay,
these are
which
mics.
Okay, but, which one I need to holler at?
What you talking about?
Oh, this mic.
No, you can holler at them over there. Right, one to the far left.
Holler at the ones. You gotta holler at the ones.
Let me get ready.
Mr. Malik, so how long you been doing poetry? I'm gonna say your name. I'm saying your name right?
Oh yeah, Malik.
Okay, Malik, okay, just making sure. Bad with names.
No, you good, brother Malik. I've been openly performing for over 10 years, probably 13 years, but I've always been somewhat involved since I was a kid. But openly performing spoken word, 12 years.
Okay. So you've been writing since you was a youngster, been writing.
Yeah, well, I started out with rhymes. You know, a lot of us did.
Yes.
You know, we're hip hop heads. You know, but as you get older, I wouldn't even say older, because that's a bad term. I would say as you maybe mature in your thinking, or maybe it's not even just in maturing in your thinking. Maybe you just start, like with me, I just started to notice that the patterns were different. Yeah. You know,
conscious.
The patterns were different.
I mean, conscious if you hip hop or poetry, you still be conscious. This is the way you write it.
Exactly.
The flow
of it. That's what it was when I started to notice. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a little different than just rhyming to a beat.
Right.
So it changes, evolved on its own.
You're not from Trenton. Where you from?
I'm not originally from Trenton. It's a long train, man. You know, I mean, I'm born in Jersey City. I grew up for 18 years in a small town called Clayton, a little country town, about 5,000.
In Jersey?
Yeah.
Is it called Clayton in Jersey?
Yes, it is. It's probably more people there now, but originally it was only like 5,000 people in that town. I mean, if you drove through it and you blinked, you'd be like, you'd have missed it. You know what I mean? That's, and then then I moved out to the city. I was living in Camden for a while, but traveled a lot though in my 45 years, Florida, up and down the East Coast. Mainly, I would say a Jersey dude.
Okay.
Just you act like you know all the cities in Jersey too. He talking about it's a city named Clayton in Jersey.
Jersey. Every time I meet somebody different from Jersey, like I never knew what was the name of that type of city. And in Jersey, got
but if you check out the last CD, Marquis said he was from Patterson on the show. You remember?
Yeah, he was like, we got Malik from Patterson. I'm like, how did I get up there? Okay.
He was from Patterson, so he was like north, right? He was like, no, I'm not from Patterson.
Malik, are you married?
No, not married.
Does the poetry help you with women?
When I was younger, it did. Like I'm in a relationship now, it did. It was, but.
Well, poetry
does. Women like poetry.
So you want to ask me, does poetry work?
Everybody knows that women like poetry. You know what I mean?
Only if he's a liver of his words. Because some of the poetry words are deep. So normally poets, they're actually speaking what they live and what their inner feeling is. So what you're speaking is actually you.
Yeah. So that turns some women off. So
yeah, right. It's like, okay,
you know what I mean?
You tell them the
truth.
truth.
It's all like some women are like, ooh, I got to get away from him. Guy's a little
too deep with it.
Yeah, right.
I'm just trying to go to the club.
So in other words, intimidated.
Right.
If you want to, just don't feel you.
Nah, I guess they want to be serenaded in the club with some poetry while they try to listen to Young Thug. So.
I wouldn't either. I mean, if I was partying and grooving, this is not the place for it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do a thing. Sometimes I end up at venues where it's not really a poetry event, and we go ahead and we push it through. Like me and James did one at the Masonic Hall up there. And it was like it was not a poetry crowd, but we still went on and did it.
That's probably one of the strangest events we've done, but it was a political event, so it was like everybody was there for their agenda. Then it was like they just threw poetry in there, like bam. It was like. They was drinking. It was a fundraiser. They was drinking and they was talking politics. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring up the spoken word." Yeah, like,
right.
Yo,
It has to be that kind of vibe. If you're gonna do poetry, that vibe got to be in the venue. If it's not there.
Entertainment though, like you can't just throw somebody. You got a hip hop crowd. You don't throw somebody just R&B, throw the whole.
Yeah, it's like what?
Vice versa. Right. You know what I mean? So you gotta really have that type of vibe going.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to say. That's why we started this. That's why we wanted to create the vibe where you could enjoy yourself, have a good time, eat. You know what I mean? Relax. Hear the band. Hear the DJ. Something unique. Getting it. We wanted to bring that to the city and like have people have a good time
Right.
with poetry and say, wow, that was a unique event, and it's in the city of Trenton.
That's right. That's
You know?
right. Because I know that poetry is very, very becoming, or it is in New York,
Yeah.
in Philadelphia, and there's a
Lord.
lot of poets
Yeah.
and a lot of towns right here in New Jersey,
Yes.
and they got to travel to New York for a poetry fest, or Philadelphia. But you guys are doing it right here, and I haven't seen anybody in the city of Trenton do something like this and be as consistent and grow.
That's about it.
Yeah, and that's the heartbeat right there, consistency.
Yeah.
So you guys started Conservatory Mansion, you stayed here, you branded yourself, and now you're branching out, and that's the key, and that's what a lot of people got to do in the city of Trenton when they want to start some kind of movement. They have to be consistent, and they got to do it. So I definitely admire that about your group.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah. Consistency is what it's all about. I mean, and we thank everybody who supported us too. I mean, we've gotten some great support from all of the local poets and all of the collaborations that we're building. You know, with Todd Evans and classic bookstores. We're you know, it's growing. You know what I mean? So it's not like you know, we haven't gotten the support from the city, even though, you know, we can get bigger and better, and that's what we're trying to do. So we're going to keep our consistency going.
Right. So what do you when you talk about support in the city of Trenton? I hear this a lot when people do things in Trenton. They say, Trenton, you know, we need to find more people to support.
Mm-hmm.
Are you finding lack of support in the city, or what do you find? Are you finding the support getting better?
Well, like I said, it's about consistency because